Hey everybody, how are we doing? I was just waiting a sec there to make sure we're up and running. Nice. Okay, so this week we have a lot on our plate. We have a pretty big topic that I've prepared for you today, and keep in mind that I've broken it into two parts. So this first section is going to be dealing with mostly beginner content, and perhaps we're going to be simplifying some complex concepts a little bit. So keep that in mind. Now, before we begin, I want to send everyone to a supplementary resource that I really like using, that I used when I was in school studying music in high school and in post-secondary. It's called Musictheory.net. Musictheory.net. And I'm just going to make sure that it's .net and not .org, because that's really important. Musictheory.net. There it is. So this is a wonderful website with lessons, tutorials, and all the information you need to go really in depth on this particular topic. Now today, we're going to be talking about playing in key and what that means. So you've probably heard this phrase thrown around a whole lot. Yeah, what key are we in? What key is this song in? What key should we play it in? Things like that. So, what does it mean? Perhaps you have an intuitive understanding of what a musical key is. Maybe you can tell what key a song is in roughly just by listening to it. And this is the kind of thing that's actually a lot easier to understand intuitively than it is to understand theoretically. Because in order to understand keys theoretically, we need to have a little bit more background in music theory, and we really do need to understand pitch systems, the Western pitch system, or the Western diatonic system. So for the sake of this class, which is geared towards beginners primarily, I want to simplify things. So today, here's how we're going to tackle it. We're going to be talking about major keys. We're only going to be talking about one major key. This week it's going to be C major. So if anyone's played any piano, or if anyone's seen a piano before, maybe you understand that we have 7 white keys and 5 black keys, which add up to 12 pitches. The 12 pitches that we use in the Western tonal system. I say the Western tonal system because other parts of the world use microtonal systems. And there are different pitch systems all over the place. So check it out, man. Get on Wikipedia. Look up microtonal music. You might just find something that you think is really cool. I think it's really rad. So yeah, we're talking about a 7-note major scale. C major. So that's all the white keys on the piano. Starting from C, the first key to the left of the 2 black keys, continuing all the way to B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So that's 7 pitches, all the white keys. They're all natural, right? If we were using black keys, we'd call them accidental. So we're playing only natural pitches in the key of C, which is why this is a really good one to start with this week. So there you have it. Now I've got a document that I'm going to open up, and we're going to walk through this together in 1 second. But I just want to make sure we're really clear on the concept of the major key. So all major keys contain only 7 pitches, and the key is determined by the number of accidentals in that key. And I don't want to get too complex here because we're in the beginner portion of this lesson. But if you stick around for another hour, we're going to talk a little bit about accidentals, what they mean, and how we can determine what key we're in just by checking out what accidentals the key has. Okay, so C is a key with no accidentals, only white keys, no black keys. If you're looking at it on a page, let me open this up for you. As we see here, all of our notes are pure natural tones. There are no sharps and there are no flats. So this is how we would write the C major scale. And this is how you're going to see it written in a lot of books. Now what I've done here is I've written it in 2 octaves, a low octave and a high octave. These are the same note. Now sometimes you're going to see guitar music written 1 octave above how it sounds. Now, I just wrote it in both octaves so that we can be clear and we can start to memorize where things repeat on the staff. So we have middle C, what would be called middle C on a piano down here. And underneath, I've given you the tab. Now, I'm just going to see if I can make this just a little bit bigger. There we go. It's a little bit bigger. So what we see here is the tablature for this scale. Now, what is tab? Well, tab is a system used to notate for the guitar, or to tell us what notes to play. So the number simply means the fret. The lines are the strings, beginning from the lowest string on the bottom to the highest string on the top. Now, if you're just tuning in, it's very important to know that tab and the staff up here, the 5 lines we use to notate pitches in standard notation, are different systems. Tab is specifically for the guitar. That's why there are 6 lines, each line representing 1 string. Okay, well, that's good. I'm going to give you a second to unpack everything we've talked about. So, we're talking about the key of C major. Now I'm just going to play through this for you, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing. So right now I'm looking at the very first note at the top of the page. It's C. And then I'm looking down at the tab if I'm unsure. And everyone see my hand here at the bottom? So we're playing 3rd fret, 5th string. Now, if you look up at the tab, our bottom line is our lowest string. The 5th string would be the 2nd line, and we see the number 3 here under C. So I'm reading the bottom note. So here's our C. Our next note is D. Tab tells us it's open string 4. Now we know that open string 4 is D. We just know this. We're experienced. 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. This is E. 3rd finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret. This is F. Open string 3. This is G. 2nd finger on the 3rd string. This is A. Coming up to the 2nd last note here. Open 2nd string. This is B. 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. We're back. All right, so you probably counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 notes before we return home to C. Just going to reposition my mic a little bit here. So this is a pretty straightforward concept. When we're playing in the key of C, we're only playing these 7 notes. Now, obviously, in art, the rules are there to be broken, perhaps. So you're going to hear songs that start in one key and then perhaps borrow notes from another key, borrow chords from another key, or just straight up break the rules entirely. But a lot of tunes stay within one key, and this is what we call tonal music because it follows our tonal system. Okay. So a good exercise for you following along at home, for you guitarists, is to play through the scale slowly. Here, I'm going to give you a good recording of the guitar here. Try to keep my hand in the frame for you. So I'm starting on the top left corner of this document. I'm starting on the note C. little sneaky there at the end. Couldn't resist. So this is pretty chill. All you have to do is try to connect the fingering and the position of this note. So you're given that information in the tab section here at the top line. It's good to just start connecting that information with what you see at the top, the notation. So what you're going to notice here is that at the end of the bottom line, we end up on this C, this high C that I've given you at the beginning. So this is cool. We kind of see that there isn't a whole lot of information we need to know, because if we go up 7 spaces in the standard notation system, we arrive back at the same note. So that's pretty cool. That makes our life a little bit easier. Okay. So I want you guys to play up and down this scale a few times, get used to the fingering. A lot of my students have this fingering already. So you already kind of know how C major feels in the first position. And it kind of follows the template of the chord here. All these notes are played in the scale. So you're seeing how I'm starting on the chord and then just jumping into the scale. The C major chord is built using the notes C, E, G, and sometimes we put an extra C on top. C, E, open G, E on top. Nice. I'm running out of space for my guitar here. I'm going to make this just a little smaller. I know. Can't have it all. Pretty nice. All right. So, if everyone's had an opportunity to rip that scale a couple times, and you're shredding through it, and you're like, okay, Sean, let's get to it. On we go. Well, I'll take you to the next section now. So this is a simple chord progression. I got to stop abbreviating my words. In the key of C. So we're starting on a C triad. A C triad means just a C chord using 3 notes. So those notes are C, E, and G. And you can match it up. If you're watching at home, here, let's actually navigate up. Let's look at it up here. This is a little easier to see, I think. We're going to, give me a sec here. Yeah, scroll up a bit. Did that work? Hey, look at me. Got all the tricks. So we're starting with C, E, and G. And you can see those notes are the same as C, E, and G. All right, and the tab is the same too. 3, 2, and open G. So since this is geared for beginners, I'm trying to repeat a whole lot, speak very slowly, and make sure you guys are picking up everything I'm putting down, right? So to speak. So we're starting on our 3rd finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. The tab just tells us the fret number. So here, let me show it to you. 3rd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. That's the first note of this C chord. Some of you may know this chord already, but, resist the temptation to jump ahead and say, oh, I already know this. This is so basic. Well, check it out. You need to know what it really means to play a C chord. Are you playing a triad? Are you playing a 4-note chord? How do you know you're really playing a C chord? And how do you know when to call it C major 7, C dominant 7? Well, understanding the fundamentals of a triad, a major triad in a key, is going to really help you expand your knowledge out to new types of chords. So we're taking it from the first triad. We have our 3rd finger, our 2nd finger, the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then we just have an open 3rd string there. So keep your hand nice and stable. Can you all see my hand? All right, there it is. Then With a pick, if you're playing with one, you just strum these 3 strings as a block. So I'm going to pretend I have a pick. Try not to strum open B. You can mute it a little bit with your finger. Or you can just play C there if you want. So this is our first C triad. This would be home base, so to speak. The first chord in the key of C. All right, is everyone with me? What's the next chord? Well, some of you probably already know this chord. This is F major. Now, F major is one of those chords that shows up a lot in the key of C. It's a really common chord to jump to. We call it the 4 chord. But I promised I wouldn't get too complicated on you beginners, so we're just going to call it F. So how do we build an F chord? Well, let's look at the bottom note. It's an F. And that takes place. Oh, it looks like I've tabbed it out here at the 8th fret. But what you can also do, and this is what I should have written, you play it right here in the first position. So 3, 2, and 1. So that would look like 3 on the 5th string, 3 on the 4th string, 2 on the 3rd string, and 1 on the 2nd string. 3, 2, 1. Right? So this is our common first position F chord. So I'm on the 4th string, playing the note F. I'm on the 3rd string, playing the note A. And I'm on the 2nd string, playing the note C. So I've scrolled up again for you. This is our bottom note in F, 3rd fret. So you can build it in first position using this tab up here. 2nd finger on the 3rd string for A, and 1st on the 2nd string for C. This is our F triad. And you're probably saying, well, Sean, sometimes I play it like this. 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 Well, there are many different ways to play an F major triad. And the deeper you get into triads, the more interesting they actually become. Because you can open them up. You can invert them. You can turn them around. You can flip them over. Do whatever you want. See what happens. But that's another lesson. That's a more advanced lesson. For you beginners in the room, I just want to keep it nice and simple today. And I made a mistake. I wrote it up here at 8. So it's the same as this. But I copied and pasted that chord from the advanced lesson, where we're running through all the chords in the key of C. So keep in mind, you can actually play an F up here at 8, 7, and 5. You're going to get the exact same pitches, F, A, C, exact same notes as you get down here, F, A, C. But for now, why don't you build your chord F in the first position, 3, 2, and 1. Great. So, looking at the beginning of the second system, that would mean from bar 3, or the beginning of our chord etude here, our triads, C with a pick, moving on to F for 2 beats. All right, and try to keep your fingers nice and arched, nice and relaxed so that the music is forthcoming. And then G. Whoa, how do we do that? That's not how I'm used to playing G. That's where it's written in the notation. But I've tabbed it lower just to make it easy. So this is 3rd finger, 3rd fret, low string. We're looking at the tab for our 3rd triad. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, and open string 4, which is D. There you go. That's our third chord, and then we're back to C major. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how this all links back to the concept we introduced at the beginning of our stream here. But for now, I just want you guys to take a second and try looping this. Try looping it. Try playing it. Give it a go. Why not? Whoa. I wasn't dropping frames at the beginning of this. Now it appears I am. So if the audio is a little behind, I apologize. I think we should be fine. Okay. So you've had a chance to loop these chords. Let me play through them with the mic on the guitar so you guys can get a good idea of what's happening. Now I'm playing a little arpeggio because, I don't know, I guess I'm just fancy by default. Let's play it solid. Now I'll make it sound better. Now you want to put on a metronome. I'll pretend to be a metronome. That's not the right chord. Let's start on C. Heck, why not just put on a metronome? I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Here we go. Whoa, that's fast. So remember, it's important to chill. If there's one thing I try to instill in all my students, it's that mantra. Here we go. From the beginning of bar 3. 2, 3, 4. Now remember, this is something I could actually be doing better, is hold the chord for its full duration. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, cool. So this is pretty chill. It's a pretty simple little progression. And these are 3 chords that all fit into the key of C. And we can really hear it. You just get the feeling, right? Nothing exciting is happening. Maybe not, that's not the right word. Nothing unexpected is happening. Right? Everything sounds real nice. We can pretty much sing or play any of these notes over those 3 chords. And these chords are built using only these notes. In fact, these chords are actually produced by these notes. Now, it's not as clear on a guitar as it is on a piano, but if you take a shape on the piano, you play C, you skip a white key, you play D, and then you play C, you skip a white key, you play E, you skip another white key, you play G, and then you just take that shape, that's your triad, and you just move it up in step. You're going to see how this set of notes, all the white keys, or all natural pitches, will actually produce chords if you move that same shape through the scale. So you're probably thinking, okay, you're losing me. I don't really understand what that means. How do these chords, how are they produced by a scale? Well, let's take a pattern. In the chord C, we have C, E, and G. So C, skip a note, E, skip a note, G. All right, let's move it up, boop, 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 to F, the fourth note in the scale. In an F major chord, we have F, skip a note, A, skip a note, C. Hey, we did the same thing. Okay, what about G? G, skip a note, B, skip a note, well, what comes after C? D. So, there you go, G, B, D. So we made all of these chords using an intervallic template. That's a little bit of a complex definition for beginners, so let's just say we used the same shape for each chord. The notes are all the same distance apart. Cool. Now, these are all major triads. Keys will actually produce triads with different flavors, so to speak. Minor ones and diminished ones. But for now, we're just going to look at these major chords. So these chords all belong in the key of C. They're all made using notes from the key of C. And we could write simple melodies over them using other notes from the key of C, and it would sound good. It would jive. So that's what keys are all about. Okay. Cool. I hope you're all keeping up, and I hope the beginners at home have their guitars out and you're playing along with all of this. So let's just do a quick review before we move on. We're going to go from the very top of the page, and we're going to play through the scale. Then we're going to play some triads. So I'm going to move the mic down to my guitar, and we'll hang on this for a sec. Oh, and if you have any questions, I'm not really focusing on the chat today because I wanted to just flow through the lesson without dodging around and answering everyone's questions. So I'm sure one of our mods, Dave, or someone else in the chat will be able to help you out. All right, here we go. C major scale, starting from top of the page. Just going backwards. That's just a C chord with a G underneath. Cool. I'll do that one more time, and I want you to try to follow along. If you're hanging out at home, you know, we're just chilling together. We're playing some C major. All right. A quick little tip here for the finger pickers. You have your choice. You can play thumb on 5 and 4, then switch over to your first and second finger alternating. So that's thumb on the 2 wound strings, so the ones with the rough texture, and then first and second finger on the smooth strings, alternating. Always alternating because it's good to build up that flow and get that reflex developed, right? When I say reflex, it's the same thing as like doing a really fast drum roll, or tapping your hands really fast, or trying to hit a baseball, trying to hit a fastball, right? You want to build up. So you can do them fast one day. So I'm just running out of scale here. That's all C majors still, but I'm just trying to show you how to build up that alternating reflex. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked talking about finger picking. So that's for the finger pickers. Thumb on the wound strings. First and second finger on the smooth strings. Nice. Okay, all right. Oops, bonk. So, for the conventional flat pickers, so flat picking is just your conventional teardrop shaped guitar pick that you hold between your first finger and your thumb. For you homies, you're going to want to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm just using my grotesque thumbnail here. You can use a real pick. But what I do recommend you try is alternate picking. So that means picking down on the first note, up on the second note, down on the third note, up on the fourth note. So nice. So alternate picking saves you a lot of energy because you get two notes for the price of one. You play your first note on the way down, and then on your recovery, on the way up, you play your second note. So we're always trying to save you energy. Okay? Try to make your life easier, you know? And that's kind of what I mean when I say it's important to chill. Learn your alternate picking. Play it all over the neck. Play all your scales with alternate picking. Play all your melodies with alternate picking. Okay. Just trying to save energy. All right. So now I think it's about time to review the triads again. So I'm playing the second line on the page. Okay, now I'm going to play them as a block, which means all the notes together instead of rolling them like I'm doing. Now it's important to play everything with a metronome, so you're getting the full value of the half note. My metronome's at 60 beats per minute. Okay, so we've reviewed everything we've covered so far. We're going to jump ahead to the next portion of the lesson. And I don't mean the car, I mean portion. Like I said, I got to stop abbreviating all my words. There we go. Boom. Look at that. This is pretty cool. So I'm just going to let you take it all in. You at home there. What do you see here? Well, I've called it Children's Melody. And I've done this so that the true nature of what we're about to play is veiled. I don't want to off-put anyone. I want to put anyone off with the title, which is a little bit juvenile. So we'll just call it a children's melody. Now, children's songs are good because they're very simple, they're very pure. But I think all good melodies are simple in nature, or at least they play with simple bits, and then they expand infinitely on them. Right? So there's something very poetic about music, and there's something very poetic about simple melodies being moved through endless motifs, endless variations. If you listen to any of the great composers, you'll hear this idea. A simple melody just being turned over and reimagined and producing endless beautiful results. Okay, cool. So our first note is open E, the open top string of the guitar. Now, I think we remember this note from earlier, and if you want to download this document later, you're going to be able to scroll up and see this note from our scale. But we'll just look at the tab for now, and we'll play open E. Cool. The next note is D, 3rd fret, 2nd string. Nice. The next note is C. Nice. Okay, let's take it from the beginning again. Open E. Nice. D. Nice. Oops. C. Nice. So one more time. Cool. All right. That's good. So those were the first 3 notes of our melody there. Now I'm going to give you guys just a moment to try reproducing that. Ooh, I was just checking out the stream, making sure my mic was working because I was having doubts. So the first 3 notes, aloha Dylan, by the way, I just saw your message, are E, open, 3rd finger on D, C, 1st fret. Let me repeat that. Then we go back up to D, 3rd fret. And then 3 open E's. So by now, I think some of you may have discovered the true nature of this melody. All right, we're back. I'm going to adjust the document here so that we can see it. And bada bing. We're starting from open E, the top string. 3rd finger on D. 1st finger on C. 3rd finger on D. And 3 open E's. Nice. So that's pretty chill. Now, why am I showing you this melody? Why have I chosen this archetypal children's melody for you all? It's very simple, and it uses only notes from the key of C. So, that means only natural pitches. No sharps, no flats, no funny business. We're keeping it pure. E, D, C, D, E, E, E. Now, some things that might be difficult for a beginner in the room, playing in position. So making sure each finger has its own fret. You see how this works? Just like cars on a road. 1st and 1st, 2nd and 2nd, 3rd and 3rd. You can't just change lanes without signaling. What are you doing, man? Stay in your position. All right, so open, 1, 3, 1, open, 1, 3, 1, open, 1, 3. All right, see how they stay in their frets? That's pretty chill. All right, so I'm going to play the first line of this tune one more time for y'all. Now it's good. Let's get our metronome action going here. And the same thing applies if you're picking with a flat pick. Go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? It's kind of weird just playing with my thumb, but for those of you finger picking in the room, just alternate your fingers. Keep your thumb rested on the low strings and keep your thumb here, muting our low string because you're going to get little resonances. Nice. There we go. So, if you know the name of the tune, leave it in the chat. And you get to sound smart, and you also get the chance to win an Airline map, which is an electric guitar with a pretty cool style. Some P90s in there so you can be funky. And it's got some pop. I've played it. It's a good guitar. you definitely want to have a chance of winning it. So hop in the chat, get interactive. Come on, be social. Yeah, you get a chance to win. All right. You may also notice that written above this first line is C chord. That means you can play your triad from earlier, or if you're advanced, you can add the C. Check it out. And then you can play the melody. Or, you get your homie to play the chord, and then you go. You play the melody on top. So it's a good way to play. Have someone accompany you. Play a chord, and then you lay down the melody. It's beautiful. All right. So, what happens next? Let's check out the next melody notes. I hope everyone can see this. Actually, I'm just going to switch over. So now we are at the beginning of bar 7, or the second line. We're playing, if you look in the tab, third finger on the second string in the 3rd fret. It's going to sound like this. That was open 3-3, the second bar. So I'll play bar 7 with a click. So you're probably thinking, this is pretty simple. Well, if you can read this, there's no limit. This is the start of a very important skill, recognizing these pitches, because you can always get D on the 2nd string 3rd fret. If you're in standard tuning, you can always find that note there, right? So don't underestimate the importance of reading through simple things like this. Also, trying to keep other notes from ringing out is a very good skill. So you want to try to make it sound pure, clean. Don't let your other strings get rowdy. Keep your hand ready to mute them. Rest your thumb between the 2 low strings, comme ça. And you can also, you could rest it here and keep your thumb above the neck, muting this one. Ooh, nice. So that was everything. I'm just going to play from 7 now. Right, and you can also notice there's a G here. And then C. We're talking about the chords above the notes. So the letters above the notes are just chord shorthand. So if you're like, I don't know what a C is, well, look up to the beginning of this document and all will be revealed. There it is. We have C here. We have G here. We talked about it. Right? Same shape, 3-2-0. G's on the low strings, C's from the 5th string. Nice. So those are the chords we're playing here in this first section of the tune. And you're getting a little taste of what it's like playing solo guitar, actually. Anyway, getting sidetracked. C, and then you're playing open E, first note of the melody, da, 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 da. C again, 3 E's, we play a G underneath, play 3 D's. For those of you playing the melody, you play it like this. Oh, and then we're back to C. Open G, G. I probably wouldn't add that one. I'd probably go. fancy now. So we'll keep it simple. These are just triads from the key of C. Right? We're just playing C, G, and C. Cool. These are the only two chords that we're using in this simple melody. So I'm going to go over to my second scene here. That's what you can see. We have a C chord at the top. And the third bar we have a G. And then we're going back to our C chord. And all the notes in our melody work with these chords because they're all coming from the key of C. The same group of 7 white keys that we've been working with up to this point. All right. Has everyone wrapped their head around this? I hope so. If not, that's cool. You can hop over to musictheory.net, the website I was talking about at the beginning of the proceedings, and you can get all of this information. It's all there. They have exercises. There's no excuses, guys. It's all there on the internet. So you just have to really want it. You have to want it so bad you actually get up out of your chair, go over to the keyboard. I know, terrifying. Start typing, and then hit enter. And then, the screen will light up, and right before your eyes, lo and behold, all of the information you could ever want. Now, this may sound a little bit sarcastic, but one of the hardest things about learning an instrument is finding the motivation to untangle these new concepts and work through them slowly. Because, I know you guys have school. There's a lot going on. But take it slow. Tune in every Friday and we'll hang out. We'll talk about it. Musictheory.net's got your back. Wikipedia's got your back. It's all there, guys. Anyway. So let's get to the end of this. Let's get to the end of this melody. Now, there's more. Oops. Here we go. This might be new. We've got a high G. So high G is third finger on the top string. So I'll play this whole page. And then some. Now I'll play it with the chords. Cool. All right. And moving on to the ending. It's the repeated first phrase again. So it's just E, D, C, D, E, 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 E. And the ending, D, D, E, D, C. Now, if we're going a bit too fast, you can always take your time and just look at the fret number. Open, 3, 1, 3. This is the same as the beginning of the tune. Open, 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 open. So that's all just open string 1, as you can see here in the tab. Bar 11, third finger on D. We're playing a G chord underneath, so it sounds like this. And then open E, 3, C. Nice. All right. Now I'll play all that for you to see here. Sick. All right, guys. So I think we're all set up to try this. We're all set up to try this. And you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to post this PDF. That's right. I'm going to make this publicly available. First to anyone studying with me, or anyone that emails the school asking for it. If you want this, just send us an email. We'll send it over. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about this note here. Can everyone see? Okay, good. We're looking at bar 8. So before bar 8, we're playing a G with a D in the top. This is D, played 3rd fret 2nd string. Then, bar 8 is the bar in question. We're playing a C chord, and we're playing open E, G, G. Okay, this is pretty cool. You can actually play a C chord and play open G. So you play your C chord, you have open E on top, and then use your pinky to grab open G, or just to grab a high G rather. Whoa, what the heck? Nice. So that's how you can start combining. You can start to combine these triads and these melodies and build what people call chord melodies or solo guitar. So that means you can play this song. You don't even need to know a singer. You can just do it all solo. Something, something, little lamb, bum, bum, dun, dun, dun. Right? I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to sing the lyrics. Actually, you know what? This is probably in the public domain. But you got to be careful with these lullabies. You never know. You don't want Disney banging down your door. Okay. Enough talk. Let's wrap this up. Let's put a bow on this. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the chat. We talked about C major, the group of 7 white keys that make up our major key. We're not going to go too in depth on the idea of keys because it's easier to understand it intuitively at first, to hear it, to play it, and then with the help of Musictheory.net and your teacher and all the resources you have at your disposal, your guitar book, you can start to unravel what it really means, how you build a major key, and how to differentiate major keys based on the black keys that they use or the accidentals that they use. We're using only white keys with 7 notes between C and C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Right? So 7 notes, and then we repeat the octave, the 8th note. Pretty cool. Then we played through some triads in the key of C that are notated here for you. Right? We have them written. And then we also have the tab. So you can see there at the bottom. 3, 2, 0. F is written way up at the 8th fret for some reason. I think it's better if you build it in the first position using the notes at the top of the page. So the 3rd finger on the 4th string, 2nd finger on the 3rd string, and 1st finger on the 2nd string to build F. G is 3, 2 open, starting on the low string. 3rd finger, 2nd finger open. Then we're back to C. We're home. Nice. All right, scrolling down a little further, we have a children's melody. All right? Now, I told you I can't tell you what it's called because I would spoil it, and I'd probably get sued. So we're going to start with open E. Nice. 3rd finger on the 2nd string for D. Nice. 1st finger on C. We're back to D. Then 3 open E's. 3 D's. E, G, G. Open 3rd finger top string for G. All of these notes come from C major. That's the significance of this. All right, now watch me do it. Right? You want to put your metronome on and be better than me. Nice. How do we end it? Well, I'm sure you guys know. You probably heard this around the campfire once or twice. Maybe not around the campfire, maybe, sung to you as a child. Oh. Right? Little tension. Little release. Cool, cool, cool. Before I get too carried away, we're just playing the end of our children's melody. We're walking through these pitches. I really like this one because there's lots of repeated notes, so it's easy to learn how to recognize pitches and standard notation. Now I've included the tab for you, and if you'd like a copy of this, we're going to make it available to you, probably in the form of a link somewhere on our Instagram. So make sure you follow up all of our socials, you get involved in the chat, and yeah, that's that for this portion. This has been the beginner portion of Friday Night Live Guitar Masterclasses with Sean. I'm here in Montreal. It's cold. I'm in an apartment talking to you guys. So that's prime. I hope everyone's having a good night. I hope everyone's got their axe out. You know, you're chilling. You've got a cup of tea or something. Just playing a little guitar. It's prime, guys. This is how we're going to survive the winter. So keep tuning in. I'll see you in approximately 5 minutes for the intermediate portion of this week's masterclass. We're going to be talking about the same thing, pretty much. Only we're going to be doing way more. Be more chords, more excitement, more thrills. So don't go anywhere. I'm just going to end the stream for now, but I'll be back in like a few minutes. I'll see you soon.